Call this meeting to order. This is a legally constituted meeting of the Town of Charlotte Planning Board. Legal notice of this meeting has been posted in the Gates Charlotte News and on the bulletin board in the front vestibule of the Town Hall. If you could, please silence or turn off your phones and pagers. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the event of an emergency, please use the exits at the front and the rear of the room. We will proceed with the agenda in the order in which it was published unless otherwise stated. When called, please proceed to the podium, state your name, and if you're representing an applicant, indicate the applicant's name. Review the details of the application. Planning board members and side table participants will address questions and concerns to the applicant or their representative. For the public hearing portion of the meeting, anyone wishing to comment on the application will be heard. If you wish to speak, please wait to be recognized by the chairperson. Stand, state your name, and address for the record. Please speak so all can hear your comments and address all comments and questions to the chairperson. I will now introduce our board members and side table participants. To my far left is Joe Defendis, Matt Emmons, Al Halaby, I'm Mike Nyhan, Glenn Hyde, David Cross, and Michael Leone. At the side table, there's our town engineer, Michael Hanscom, our building department manager, Paul Wanzenried, planning board counsel, Jared Hurt, our two planning board alternates, Keith Bozek and Hans Lindenhovius, and our recording secretary tonight is Sandra Hewlett. First application is the application of Kostitz Engineering, Garth Winterkorn, 150 Lake Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14608 applicant. Rochester Cornerstone Group, 460 White Spruce Boulevard, Rochester, New York, 14623 owner, for a preliminary subdivision approval of 2 lots into 3 lots at the property located at 150 International Boulevard and 600 Trade Court in the LI District.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Roger Brandt, BRANDT, Rochester's Cornerstone Group, 460 White Spruce Boulevard in Rochester. 30 years ago, we purchased 235 acres on Paul Road, and we developed it into this industrial park, or light industrial business park. And we're finishing up the last couple of lots. But we have the to the south, toward the railroad, we have a significant amount of wetlands. It's actually 122 acres, plus or minus, and we are looking to package that, and we're donating to the Genesee Land Trust. Genesee Land Trust, there's a conservation easement on the lands right now. We're going to make sure that all the lands are covered, but what we're proposing here is a re-subdivision, and basically the re-subdivision is targeting taking all the wetlands, giving it to the Genesee Land Trust, and the uplands will go with the owners of the business land, the lots. And we have 2 lots to sell, and we're working with 2 people to try and finish that up, and hopefully in 2026 we'll do that. So really what we're looking at is the re-subdivision is to enable us to make this dedication or donation to the Genesee Land Trust.
Thank you. Paul,
No questions.
No questions. You won't need any variances to do the subdivision, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I have.
No questions.
side table. This time I'll open the public hearing. Anybody from the audience wishing to comment on this application? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing portion.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Any further discussion? Conditions? I have 2. For the town engineer, any others that you could think of? Okay. If not, for seeker, I'll make a motion to declare the board lead agency as far as seeker goes, and based on evidence and information presented at this meeting, determine the application to be an unlisted action with no significant environmental impact. Do I have a second?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes. For the conditions of approval, I have approval is subject to final approval by the town engineer and the commissioner of public works. And the town engineer and the commissioner of public works must be given copies of any correspondence with other approving agencies. Any other conditions? Okay, with those conditions, the application of Kostitz Engineering.
Did you just say preliminary approval?
Are you only giving him preliminary tonight?
No, we'll give preliminary and waive final. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, subdivision doesn't have final, does it?
It does. Maybe.
Could.
It does. I'll do that. Let me read this. So with those conditions, the application of Costich Engineering, Garth Winterkorn, 217 Lake Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14608. The applicant, Rochester Cornerstone Group, 460 White Spruce Boulevard, Rochester, New York, 14623. Owner, for a preliminary subdivision approval with waiver of final for 2 lots into 3 lots at the property located at 150 International Boulevard, 600 Trade Court in the LI District. Have a second?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes. It's approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Our next 2 applications we'll hear together. It's 40 Jetview Drive, the application of Costich Engineering, Garth Winterkorn, 217 Lake Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14608, the applicant, and 29 to 31 Jetview Drive LLC, 31 Jetview Drive, Rochester, New York, 14624, owner, for a preliminary subdivision approval of 1 lot into 3 lots, property located at 40 Jetview Drive in the LI District, and also the same applicant and owner for a preliminary site plan approval to construct a 96,177 square foot warehouse facility, the property located at Jetview Drive, 40 Jetview Drive in the LI District.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sarah Costich with Costich Engineering. Our office is located at 217 Lake Avenue in Rochester, New York. I just want to take a moment to start off by introducing the team that I have along with me here for support, which includes the project owner, Sidor Optics, Jonathan and Matt Sidor, the current president of Sidor, as well as their father, Jim Sidor. We also have SWB Architects here, Don Panone and Andrew Atloft. And as you indicated when you introduced us, the project is located at 40 Jetview Drive. It's a 27.1 acre parcel with frontages on both Jetview and Fisher Road. I'm going to have the Sidor team come up to the podium here briefly and just introduce their business and operations and why they're looking to build this new facility.
Hello, my name is Matthew Sidor from Sidor Optics. This is my brother Jonathan. There's my dad over there. Our grandfather started the company in 1964, started out in the city of Rochester, and then moved to Chai Lai 2007, 2008. We're currently in a 44,000 square foot building, but we are needing extra space and to expand. So we purchased the lot across the street from Roger a couple years ago, and been slowly working on plans, working with SWBR and Costich to develop a new manufacturing space for us.
Hi, Jonathan Sidor from Sidor Optics. Our manufacturing is optics. We grind and polish different types of glass to be used in precision optics industries. We do a lot of windows, wafers, and different prisms. Our operation, we for the most part run one shift. We do have a partial B shift, but most of our employees are coming in around starting around 5 to 6 in the morning, and then some of our office staff leave around 5. We have, I would say we have light truck traffic, which is, I know, one thing that was talked about. We see a few semis throughout the week, unlike some companies that are seeing 4 or 5 throughout the day. So we're really a low traffic business. We don't have a lot of in and out coming in. But yeah. Anything else I should add?
Thanks. So just to talk a little bit about zoning, as you mentioned, the project is located in the limited industrial district, which is a permitted use for this proposed warehouse. In addition, for zoning, we wanted to just mention that we are meeting all the code-required setbacks for the building, which includes a 100-foot buffer to the residential properties to the north. We are showing some land bank loading docks on the project site. 2 are shown as proposed, and we are banking the additional loading docks to meet code. We are additionally showing some land bank parking. In terms of variances, right now, we believe we only have 1, and we have submitted to the zoning board for variance for front yard parking, which we're showing, if you see at the end of the road there at the cul-de-sac, we have parking in the front yard per the code. In terms of site plan specifics, the Sidors are proposing a subdivision of the parcel. It's currently 27 acres, and they're looking to propose 3 lots. Subdivision plan was also submitted as part of this application. The proposed Sidor Optics lot is 15.19 acres. And just a little context, the neighboring parcels include Inland Transportation, JFS Food Service, and Kenworth. They also have McNair Drive to the north. As far as access and traffic, Jonathan started to talk about, but we're proposing the primary access off of Jetview Drive via a dedicated roadway shown as Sidor Way on the proposed site plans. And we are showing a proposed secondary access off of Fisher Road with a gated drive, with a gate at the end of the drive that will be limited use only for vehicular traffic only. Under the zoning and variance, as I mentioned, we are looking for parking, or I'm sorry, excuse me. I did mention that we are showing sufficient parking on the site plan in order to meet code. In terms of how we determined our parking numbers, the Sidors gave us their employee numbers, and we are showing 152 total parking spaces proposed to be built on site with land bank parking spaces to meet code. As far as the utilities go for the project, we're proposing to bring all of the utilities off of Fisher, water and sewer and power. Wanted to mention that the proposed stormwater management facility has been designed such that it will meet all the requirements for future build-out of the proposed overall 3 parcels that are on the site. So you can see it there on the plans. In terms of lighting and landscaping, we are showing both foundation and building entryway plantings. We have berm plantings consisting of trees and shrubs on the residential buffer to the north, and we are proposing bioretention plantings as well. We do have some areas on the plans shown as lawn or meadow seed mixes to be unmowed. You can see, I'm kind of far away from the plan, but on the northwest corner of the detailed site plan blow-up, and we have some seed mixes proposed for the stormwater management facility as well. I think we did introduce, I apologize, I jumped around here a bit, but the building we're proposing is 96,000 square feet, and it does comprise both manufacturing space and office space. The Sidors are having a proposed entryway for their engineering department, which you can see the landscaping, the majority of the landscaping for their offices and engineering area, and then they'll have a separate entrance for their employees that are working in the manufacturing area. They also have an outdoor gathering space proposed on the south side of the building for their employees as well. We do have SWBR team here with us. I mentioned Don and Andrew. I don't know if you want to comment on the floor plan or the building elevations right now, or we can open it up to questions at the end of the presentation. But we have submitted that materials with the planning board application as well, and they were able to provide some nice elevations and a floor plan as well for this evening. I guess we're here tonight because we are requesting preliminary final site plan approval. We understand that at this meeting it's the first presentation, and as part of the seeker process we completed the long form EAF, and we're understanding that we're not going to receive approvals this evening, but we would request that the board move forward with starting the seeker process, and we look forward to answering any questions anybody may have on our application this evening.
Sir, could you just state the size of the three, final size of the three subdivided parcels?
Sure, I actually have, side door is 15.19. And then, proposed lot R2C on the plans is 6.18 acres, and proposed lot R2A is 3.7 acres.
Thank you. Joe, do you have any questions?
No, I'm fine.
So Sarah, staying on the subdivision for a minute,
Sure.
the one lot seems kind of small. It's kind of a
2A.
funky spot, yeah. What are the variances you guys are requesting?
We don't have any proposed site plan or current user for Lot 2, so the lot, I think, does meet code requirements for the minimum lot size in that district.
Okay.
We are proposing on our, you'll see on our site plans, as far as grading and earthwork go, we are going to be clearing that lot and grading it and seeding it essentially. I'm far away from the plan, so I can't van it very well, but that's essentially this piece here.
And no plans for the other lot either?
No, not at this time.
We are actively looking at leasing, selling, or putting something in the southern space, the 6.1 acres. The 3 acres is more of a space for the future. We're not really pressing on that, whether it's space we utilize.
Are you marketing it currently, or no? No. Okay.
I don't think I have any other questions right now.
No questions? Sarah, can you talk a little bit more about the vegetative buffer, the landscaping on the north side of the building between the lot and the residential?
Sure. Is it okay if I come over here?
Please do,
Okay.
yeah.
So we have a berm the whole length of the residential properties to the north, which is actually quite large. Actually, let me grab there's a 100-foot buffer required for the town code. And let me just, oh, thank you, yeah. We are meeting the setback requirements as well. I just wanted to grab, there's a section in your site plan set on the landscaping sheet. I don't know if you guys have that in front of you, but I wanted to pull that specifically.
Profile on the berm?
Or the landscape LA 101, it details the proposed berm cross-section. So you can see there that we're proposing so the berm height appears to be 5 to 6, yeah, 5 foot. We have a line of sight, eye line of sight from the residential property, but in addition, we're showing evergreen trees and shrubs along that berm. So you can see the trees highlighted on the plan, and then on this color, I believe on the landscape plan that was submitted to you was hatched, that's a combination of shrubs and evergreens.
Yeah, I see the berm cross-section now, so
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Also, we get a narrow strip, you can see
Yeah,
tree line that's going to remain.
yeah,
So on the north toe of the berm, the bottom of the berm, some of the neighbors' fences are close to this property, not encroaching a little bit. Try to make them feel like it's less of a change.
yeah, okay. Good, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You done?
yeah.
I also have a question about the
Sure.
berm.
Yep.
In relation to the elevation of the trailers at the loading dock, the trucks as they back in, they're going to be facing directly onto the backyards of the property at McNair. What do you think the effect is going to be? Because the 5-foot line of sight is good if you're in the backyard having a barbecue, but some of those houses are split-level ranch, and I'm just wondering if you foresee having high beams from tractor trailers at 6 a.m. going into the residential bedrooms.
I believe in the section, you show some of the berms 5 to 6 foot.
Mhm.
And then the code, I believe, requires 6 foot tall, whether it be evergreen bushes, whatever, plantings. Try to mix it up and make it not look, it's like a big straight row of pine trees. And we put a line of sight on it. I'm not sure if we went from the second floor of the homes, but from the ground level, like say you're outside cooking a burger or whatever, you're looking this way, by the time you clear the top of the plantings, your line of sight would be just over the top of the roof.
So if you look at the red line of sight, that's what Garth's talking about on the elevation, and the left side is the existing south face of the house. We're showing a 5-foot viewing height, the height of the proposed berm, the evergreen tree plantings, and then the roof elevation on the proposed building.
So I suppose my question would be, what is the elevation at the loading dock? Assuming a semi-trailer has lights roughly 54 inches high. I'm very familiar with McNair,
Okay.
and if I don't ask the questions, my friends and neighbors will ask me why, and I'll be the laughing stock of every barbecue in the backyard of one of the residences abutting to the property.
Sure, so I think we can take a closer look at that, and when we submit revised plans per town comments, we can include a loading dock elevation and,
Okay, because I understand the berm and the construction of it, I understand the heights of installation, the grow heights.
Sure.
I also see some planting beds in there that are going to be, and my comment would be, I understand not wanting to do too much with the existing vegetation, because some of the residents there may say, yeah, we don't want that touched. But at the same time, some of that vegetation is just an area that could be brought into the landscaping and could become part of the berm.
right.
The berm itself and the landscaping is going to be great for everybody involved with the company and on the property, visitors, salespeople, that nature. But the people on McNair, they're not really going to be able to enjoy any of that. So I'm just curious, if that could be brought into consideration as part of the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm done, thanks.
You've received the fire marshal's comments relative to the access road around the south side of the building to connect.
We did, and we've been looking at that, and we understand that we need to provide access, so when we submit our revised plans, we will include access to that hydrant. We're looking at ways to do it.
Okay. And then also the town engineer's comments, do you see or foresee any issues with the comments relative to the stormwater management or the site plan at all?
I think we're still waiting the comments on the SWIP portion of the review, but we did review the engineering comments, and no, we don't foresee any issues.
Okay. And you did go in front of the Conservation Committee also.
We did not. We're going to meet the requirements of the Conservation Board in terms of the estimate for landscaping. They did say they unanimously approved the landscape. In the town engineer's comments, we understand that we need to provide detailed quantities and update the landscape plan per comments received.
Okay, great, thank you. Any
We'll take a look at what goes on in there, see, but we don't really get truck traffic deliveries before 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So it's not very frequent, but we'll take a look at it.
Okay, I appreciate that. I have family members that live on Jacqueline and McNair.
Yeah.
And over the last few years, just watching all the development on Jetview, I'm sure the board always hears that the lights won't be a problem, but
Yeah.
it's hard to enjoy a barbecue at night when there's lights on in the parking lot, 150 feet setback. So just asking the question.
Yep.
Appreciate that, though. Thank you.
comments from the side table or any additional questions? No?
Just one question.
Sure.
On the top of the berm, you show trees and bushes, and you said a shaded area called berm plantings. What's intended to go in those areas?
So we're showing specific individual evergreen trees, and then again, it's a combination of additional trees and shrubs. We provided, I know you had comments on the landscape plan, specific what those plants would be. We did a plant palette of what we think the plant material would be that was included with part of this submission. So, proposed trees would be white pine, Norway spruce, red oak along that buffer, and then we were looking at dogwoods, viburnums, and forsythia as shrubs.
So you call out the trees and some of the shrubs on top of the berm.
Correct. Yes.
Then you have a couple of shaded areas called berm planting. My question is, what's in the berm planting area? The shaded areas.
More plants, trees and shrubs. What specifically?
You know, what type of, is it going to be trees and shrubs?
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you weren't putting any lower.
Oh, no, yeah, we understand we need to, again, provide screening to the residents, so, yes. In the palette, which wasn't on the plant schedule, all the shrubs we're proposing are 6 to 10 foot height for the shrubs, which are the shorter ones, and then obviously the 8-foot tree requirement will meet as well. Okay.
Anything else? This time I'll open the public hearing. Any comments on this application? Seeing none at this point, I'm going to separate these two applications. And for the application of the preliminary subdivision of one lot into three, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on that application.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I also vote yes. Get back to the other application when we're done with the subdivision.
Okay.
Any further discussion on just the subdivision? Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion to declare the board lead agency as far as seeker, and based on evidence, information presented at the meeting, determine the application be an unlisted action with no significant environmental impact. Do I have a second?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes. For conditions on the subdivision, I have approval is subject to final approval of the town engineer and the Commissioner of Public Works. And the town engineer and the Commissioner of Public Works must be given copies of any correspondence with other approving agencies. Any other conditions for the subdivision? Okay. With those conditions, the application of Costitz Engineering, Garth Winterkorn, 217 Lake Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14608 applicant, 29-31 Jetview Drive LLC, 31 Jetview Drive, Rochester, New York, 14624 owner, for a preliminary subdivision approval with the waiver of final for one lot into three lots, the property located at 40 Jetview Drive in the LI District. Do you have a second?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Preliminary subdivision has been approved. And then as far as the application for the preliminary site plan approval, I will leave that public hearing open for type 1 seeker with a coordinated review. Is there any other further discussion or comments on this application before we move forward? Okay. So based on evidence and information presented at the meeting, determine the application to be a type 1 action. The planning board will send notice to interested parties to declare our intent to be lead agency. Do I have a second?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes. So at this time, we'll be on the agenda for January
13th, I believe.
13th. And in the meantime, you'll have all of the updated plans with all the comments addressed prior to that meeting.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next application, the application of Goodwill of the Finger Lakes, 422 South Clinton Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14620. Applicant Chalai MZL LLC, 535 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, 10017 owner, for a revised site plan approval for the proposed renovations and site improvements for a retail thrift store 23,000 square feet, at the property located 3170 Chile Avenue in the GB District.
Exactly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Wolfling. I'm with SWBR. I'm the civil engineer on the project. I'm here with Josh Greenacre and Jeff from Goodwill. This project is a pretty simple one. We're taking a property on 3170 Chili Ave. Used to be a Big Lots, and Goodwill is renovating the facility, adding a donation door on the front, and adding a concrete pad in the rear for a compactor and a secondary exit next to one of their existing truck docks. From a site side, we had originally submitted this and proposed the donation door on the right-hand side of the main entrance. After receiving some comments from the town engineer, we've revised the internal floor plan to allow for the donation drop-off to be on the left side of the main entrance. There's an existing man door right there. We're going to put the new one right next to it. And we're proposing a additional curb cut in that area with accessible access. That would just be used for the donations. The existing main entrance would remain where it is. As you can see on the bottom drawing here, that would be the front facade. You can see on the left-hand side there's an existing door and the new. Do you mind if I go over it?
Yeah.
So the existing main entrance is right here. The new proposed donation door will be used two double doors right here. Next to there's an existing emergency exit only door here. So the curb cut on this one is a little unclear. It basically just swaps to the other side over here. And that would be the access for the donation door. There would be some queuing in the front that would be momentarily, very quick, I believe from previous records, 74 seconds for unloading for a car waiting for the donations. People stay in their cars, gets unloaded from their vehicle and then into the Goodwill. And the rear of the facility, we are adding, go over here. On the rear, here, there is an existing loading dock right here. Then we would be adding this additional door with a small concrete dock here and a concrete pad, approximately 10 by 40 feet for a compactor. The grades there are a little bit uneven, so we will be cutting a little bit to the asphalt to add a level concrete pad in the rear of the facility. There is another loading dock farther this way that is quite a ways down, that is depressed. That would not be compacted. And this is an elevation view of that rear of the facility. There's an existing access door here that would be, this is the existing one, here's access down, and then this would be the new one, the roller door for accessing back to the TV. That's it.
Joe? I'm concerned about the traffic that's going to be backed up over there. I mean, how many cars can you queue in before it becomes interfering with the place next to it? And how do you avoid people just dropping off stuff on the sidewalk and, it's after closing hours and stuff's left on the sidewalk in front of Goodwill for you to pick up or open up and get into the building tomorrow?
So,
Your name, sir?
Jack Eichhorn, Director of Real Estate for Goodwill. So we use AI-powered cameras. AI, I think, is a common talking point in today's day and age. So we actually invest quite heavily in the AI-powered cameras, and they're able to send a message after hours. We've rolled them out at some of our locations, Clinton Ave in the city, for example, of Rochester. It will produce a message. We are closed. Please do not drop off. We've seen a significant reduction in the dumping. We also partner with our landlords to ensure that we're doing every effort possible. We actually moved our Dewey Ave location, for example. They were getting tires donated, things like that. We still send a box truck even after we've moved out to help or assist the landlord with that cleanup, even though we are no longer there. But really, it's the bad traffic that, or the stuff that we can't accept even when we're open, that I guess is the dumping, or those, the bad customers for us. In terms of queuing, I did have my team pull the data. At some of our busy locations, within an hour, we're seeing upwards of 16, 20 donations within an hour. Typically, it's queued up at least only 2 vehicles in length. Very infrequently are we seeing up to 3. And again, I went on the high side in terms of the time it takes us to unload, but for the first week of December, I have times of 50 seconds, 52 seconds, 57 seconds, 48 seconds, 55 seconds, 61 seconds, and 47 seconds to unload a vehicle. So, did I answer all the questions?
Yes, you did.
We can point out for reference, this is the existing front door. Over here is the Dollar General, has their front access. So if ours is over here, we have, I don't know off the top of my head, but room for several cars to park. And if they're going to be queued, they'll be queued in front of Goodwill's own main entrance. And again, just for a short period of time.
And I would add, there's at least 2 people working that donation drop-off door at all times. The landlord was very specific in the lease. If it ever became an issue, we have 30 days to rectify it. We will put somebody right out the curb to make sure that traffic is flowing, because it will be a violation of our lease. So,
Thank you. I'm all set.
So I'm Ben, the drawing that's up there and the drawing that I'm looking at are different, or they're similar, but I'm still confused on where are the cars going to queue, because there's a fire lane there, right?
They would queue in the fire lane, but they would be running, so people stay in their cars typically.
we'd be happy to put up placards, please remain in your vehicle. Our stance is, they should remain in their vehicles. Our team members will come up.
I was going to say, I'm glad you said that, because I go to the Henrietta one and they try to keep you in your car, actually. Right. And I want to get out and make sure they don't take my wife's other things in the back. Yeah.
Stay within your vehicle at all times, and that's a training.
It is pretty quick and it is pretty efficient, so I guess I understand the concerns, and I guess you're not really parking, but you're driving through the fire lane, and if they're not getting out of their vehicles, it's not great. I think there's still some risk there. I think moving it further down is better. I still think there's challenges, but we go to Wegmans Plaza right now, there's still people parking in the fire lane, so.
Yeah, I drove by tonight, there's a vehicle parked there, 627, fully turned off in front of Dollar Tree right now. Every time I've been out of the plaza, there's cars parked, and there's stopped. Every time I've been out there in front of Dollar Tree right now, so.
Can you explain to me again why you don't feel that door will work in the rear of the store?
Yeah, this is Josh Greenberg with SW Architects, Project Architect. I know the town shared, the town shared possibly putting the door here. This is the secondary for this four-block primary dock, if you will. And I shared back in my email back to the town, the issue with that is Goodwill has access to this enclosed loading dock. There's an open air dock, and that is Dollar Tree's primary dock and only dock. So to put the donation door here, as the town had suggested last week in an email, we would then be cross-traffic with Dollar Tree's dock and donation input from the region.
Why can't you use the other end then?
The other end where?
The left, right in there.
There's a 4-foot grade differential between the finished floor and grade there. And then, again, that's why we have the docking with the compactor. To be able to do the donation door there, we would need to look to provide a ramp, to transfer 34 inches. We're talking 34 feet of ramp. There's just nowhere.
I honestly think that you'd be better off actually putting the engineering together in there and see where you stand. Because unfortunately, the way that door is set up ends up being a catch-all point for this.
This door
and
here?
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, I have no problem with this operation. But I do have a problem with that door because it's stuck right on the front of the store. And I know what's going to happen. Like it was said earlier, it's going to be a catch-all where things get thrown in there. guy shows up with a sleeper couch that he can't quite get off the truck, they shove it off on the sidewalk and gotta wait for another truck to come in and get it out of there. It's a compounding issue.
Well, that's the thing with our cameras. My risk management team has a 24/7 helpline. I also have a 24/7 response team.
But my mind, the camera doesn't do a heck of a lot of good when somebody dumps all this stuff there and just drives away. The stuff's still there. Unfortunately, and I understand that, it's the easiest way out of the situation for you guys, but I don't think it's the answer. I think you need to look at this thing a little more and come up with some more creative ideas. Even if it's around the end of that little jut out there. All right, so it's out of that traffic flow.
Yeah, John, you're around what, just so we have some clarification. If this is the compactor, you're saying around in this corner here?
Well,
The town had recommended, see the little spot over to the right there, to add 2 doors to that. It's a covered location.
Right, and again, as I explained, this, kind of where this column line 5 is, this is Dollar Tree's only dock. They operate that. Their dock is that open air dock.
Right.
And our concern in talking with the landlord, they're not comfortable with that location because as we're bringing donations in, if Dollar Tree has a truck there, we're fighting with each other. Right? They're trying to move goods as fast as possible off of that truck into their double door, which is on the back side of this. It's just off the
that
front.
sounds something to me that you gotta work out the lease issue with these people. I mean, you're walking in here saying this is what we want and that's the only thing we want. So,
Well, speaking freely, if we are forced around back, it kills the whole lease. It can only work, like, from our process and flow standpoint of getting the goods into the store in the most effective way possible, being forced around back. It just, from our logistics, our flow standpoint, I mean, obviously we have that long hallway to get the donations to the back. It just, I hear putting it on the back side, but that's where then also being the risk management lead, creating a ramp. I got team members pushing up however many hundreds of pounds worth of donations. They're getting back injuries. That's why we try to be mindful of the grade we're going into with where we're placing these doors so that we're not hurting our team members as they're trying to, say, move a couch and get it in the building, because we'll get it in the building. But in terms of going around the back, obviously the grade issue presents a significant risk for our team members at that point, trying to move all those items up a ramp that we try to mitigate as well, which is why we felt the front side being as level as it is and just before it drops off into Planet Fitness and Five Below would potentially work for us.
well, I'm just one guy. We'll see what the rest of them want.
What are the types of donations that you generally get? Is it
Yeah, so 62% of our sales are clothing items. The other 23%, I believe, are wares. Outside of that, furniture makes up less than 2% of our sales. We generally try to get that to our clearance center, quite frankly, just because of the awkward size and shapes. And outside of that, new goods make up about 7% of the budget, but all in all, primarily clothing-based drop-offs are what we are receiving.
It's a big store. Do you just rely on community donations locally, or do you get deliveries from?
Yeah, so
Our house.
that's the thing. Obviously, Goodwill being a nonprofit supports the local area. Our 211 helpline serviced over 300 individual callers from the zip code this past year. So all the donations received here, seeing that there's a need in this area for our services, is why also bringing a store here to help fund. Obviously, the community that is using our services was important to us after we saw the numbers. But yeah, really, it's, that's what I think we try to take pride on, is using local contractors and people of that nature. We're asking the community to invest in us, and we're trying to invest in the community that we're coming into. So
So do you take truck deliveries from any other location? Or is it just
we will
drop
truck
off?
in donations if they're light. We have down on Westgate there, we do have a donation center. And we haven't had any issues there with dumping and things of that nature that I'm aware of at this point in time.
You plan on keeping that one open?
Correct.
Okay. So when those deliveries come in, do you plan on using the loading dock for that truck?
Yep.
Which would be around the back?
Would be around the back, yep. And that's where with our current flow, right, the reason why 2 docks is necessary is we usually leave one on the door. So that way our trucks can pick, drop, and hook, right? We're moving donated goods. The more times we touch it, it becomes too costly at that point in time. So that's why we always try to leave one dock occupied, which is also, is a reason why we need 2. And Josh, as he points out regarding the Dollar Tree, it's just never going to work for us with how often we need to get in there to move that trailer around. And we're just moving the issue to the backside because it gets pretty tight at that pinch point where it bumps out with that open air dock.
So you'll have two trucks at that back loading dock, one at most all of the time and the other just...
We'll have
coming
one
from-
trailer on a dock, 48 footers.
All right.
And then when they come, they'll drop at the other one, pull forward, hook up, follow whatever traffic pattern exists, and leave typically, you know, in a decent amount of time. But by being forced to, potentially being forced to convert one, then we got to find a place to drop the trailer in the parking lot, circle the building, and I think, you know, obviously it's more time and labor on our side of things, but also just it's taking up parking spots at that point as well. In the winter, that's a nasty situation, as we've seen in some locations.
When people drop off goods, do they just get processed right there and put on the floor, or do they go somewhere and get cleaned? Or?
Yep, so what will happen is at that door, we have donor greeters. They'll sort whatever donations you bring in. So if you bring a garbage bag full of clothes and a toaster oven or something in it, and they'll then sort it into the correct buckets in terms of wares, clothes, and then they'll wheel it back, which is why the hallway kind of is not the best for us, but they then will wheel it back to the pricing team. The pricing team will then price everything if it's in good condition, no holes, no stains, and then it will get pushed down to the floor. Typically items, I would say, I went to our Eastview location, which is the busiest one, my first day here, and within 2.5 hours, an item that I priced in the back of house was being sold at the register when I did my rotations from pricing to cashier. So it moves pretty quickly. Last year, or 2 years ago, I don't know the updated number, but 2 years ago alone, we diverted over 26 million tons from landfills. That's kind of what Goodwill is. Sustainability, it's a talking point most of these rooms we come to. It's, that's why Goodwill exists in a way. It gives everything a second opportunity, second life. And, yeah.
Okay. I appreciate you looking at the comments and moving the door. I still have, concerns that the sidewalk could get blocked because that's we're directly next to two fairly new businesses. One's not even open yet, but they'll be opening soon. Also blocking of the traffic in the fire lane. It gets very busy there, particularly on weekends. Even weekdays at 10 o'clock in the morning, the amount of traffic that's going in front of that building is tremendous. And you put one car there, and now people have to go around it, and then people coming out of those aisles. I just think it creates a problem. If there's any way to move that around back, I would much rather see this around back to avoid all the concerns that our town engineer had outlined, in his letter.
Yeah, and that's where, we have other locations, Geneseo, New York. We do a very similar process. Tractor Supply is right next to us. I don't know the occupancy number there. Geneva, New York, we just opened back in August, very similar setup. There's a very busy liquor store to our right. Quite frankly, they're the ones who are notorious for just letting their people pull up and park in front of it, which then impacts our donation drop-off area. But no matter where we go into, the one thing we take pride in is we move that operation along. The landlord put plenty of restrictions in the lease that if we violate anything, we'll be put on notices and be forced to correct it. And in talking to our retail team and even our CEO, we will make sure that door is the most staffed door within our entire fleet to make sure this operation runs as smoothly as it possibly can.
Okay. I don't think of any other questions at this time. Do all of your locations, actually I do have another question, do all of your locations have your drop-offs directly on the sidewalk in front of the building, or are any of them away from the building?
So we typically like the end cap space so we can create a canopy. But obviously just, I would say just given the need for secondhand or cheaper goods in today's economy, looking to expand, give other people, give everybody an option for shopping as opposed to going to, I guess, those bigger box stores, and as well as caring about the sustainability aspect. We've been trying to be more aggressive by going in line. That's where just opening, East Rochester just allowed us to do it at the Wegmans Plaza on Fairport Road. We just opened there back in early October. We just opened in Geneva, New York in the Old Tops. If anybody's familiar with Geneva, we took on 35,000 square feet of space. And we opened inline as well there. And then Grease Ridge Mall, we just moved from Dewey F to Grease Ridge Mall back in February, and we opened in Ithaca, New York back in April, but that was a standalone building. But yes, we're trying to go more in line because there have been municipalities who have been, in terms of the fire lane and how quickly we operate, have been open to this concept. So.
No, the door is a concern, obviously, and I have no other questions.
Yeah, same thing, concerns. I like how you addressed it, though, I really do, and I don't know that there's another option here unless you can work it out with the landlord. Is it, do you do any outdoor storage of retail material?
No, that was partly why, in terms of Goodwill or our history, we used to do those sheds in the parking lots.
Yeah.
Elements, animals get into them, landlords hate it, which is why then trying to come up with this drop-off canopy, becoming more in line, understand the traffic concerns. This plaza gets 1.3 million visitors to it a year. We've looked at all the data we believe we can do it. And, again, the landlord has restrictions in place that if Dollar Tree, they're getting frustrated, they can call them, we got 30 days to correct it, or we void our, not void our lease, but, are in breach of it. So we have plenty of red tape in place to make sure that this operation runs smoothly, and just appreciate the consideration, quite frankly.
And then just give me a quick snapshot of where is headquarters at Goodwill, and what are your expansion plans? How far?
Yeah, so our CEO, Jen Lake, is on record. We're trying to open 35 stores in the next 10 years. We're currently down to 30 stores remaining in the next 8 years. We currently have 4 that we're working on, 5. Between LOIs and signed leases, we have 4 signed leases, and then 1 at draft lease phase. But yeah, no, we're actively growing and expanding as there's a need for readily accessible items that everybody needs on a day-to-day basis at low cost, and then just, again, sustainability, right? Trying to keep stuff out of landfills, giving everything a second chance. That's what we take pride in, is outside of just our community-based efforts, right? Over 300 people from this zip code have called for our 211 services, and being able to connect them to a store or resource right in this area, we felt was important as well.
Thank you.
So.
I'm good, Mike.
I just got a couple of questions. What do you anticipate the hours of operation are going to be?
It would be 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., I believe, is our standard operating, open to the public hours. We might need an extra half hour to close up or open before.
All right, how many days a week?
7 days a week.
Okay, so in theory, if someone came after hours, ignored your message not to leave stuff, and they left it on the sidewalk, it'd be there, 10 hours? If your 24-hour response team doesn't pick it up sooner?
Correct.
So chances are, all of us would still be in bed before the sidewalk is cleared?
Correct.
That's fair.
And that's the other part, yeah. Our CPO, I know she lives right around the corner. She's mentioned if there's ever an issue, she will happily answer the phone call and will help. Just this site internally has gained a lot of traction as internally here, and some people are very invested in making sure we find a way to make this thing work.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
That's awesome. Can she leave her phone number with our building department?
I'll shoot her a tease message quick. I'm sure she will say yes.
Any comments from the side table? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have one question. Okay. I'm an alternate, but this is just generally because I'm a patron of Goodwill, right? It might be nice to have a golden parking spot that if I'm donating something that I can park at, walk in, make my donation, and walk out as well. Only because I think the problem that everybody's concerned is that there's quite a stacking. The way that this particular plaza is laid out in a way that's kind of unique in that the traffic that's flowing off of the avenue comes up to the same spot where you're coming in. The parking is laid out in kind of a very strange manner, right? So it creates a unique situation with traffic flow. So it might be nice to think about that idea of enticing people. Hey, go to the park and you can walk if you got a bag or two, right? Walk it in, donate, and get back in your car and go as a way to alleviate potentially, just a suggestion.
Yeah, as Josh is aware, we're looking at a site, working on a site sign lease, looking to open by the end of May. Concept there is actually a drop-off window inside the store. But again, our business model is about convenience. When you're there just to donate and you're not looking to shop with us, this is a way that people can pull up, we service you, you get right out, and you don't have to come in the store at that point. This one is going to be a little bit of a different model for us, and kind of we're testing it out because of the market. But again, obviously, we hear the feedback, and we're trying everything. Unfortunately, it's on another project at this point in time, but the main thing for donors is they like to get in, they like to get out. move on with their day, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday, keep it moving, get to the grocery store or at Wegmans, and, you know, they're not always looking to shop with us, for example. So that would be my only response.
When are you looking to open?
If given an approval, I think we're targeting early April with the scope of work we got. We're trying to be very aggressive with this. Open as soon as we can, early, mid-April. Construction timelines, I believe we're looking like 10 weeks. And yeah, I'm just waiting to sign the contract, given this donor door layout and where it would go and if it voids a contract and things of that nature. So, but we're ready to hit the ground running.
Did the owner have conversation with Dollar Tree in regards to the number of deliveries they have or anything like that? Map that out?
Wise, there was so much red tape, was they were very mindful of Dollar Tree, and I believe also the pet store on the other side also had similar drop-off. But that's why we get so much sort of, I guess, the red tape or those revisions of if we violated 30 days to correct and things of that nature implemented was because of the thought for the other or the other tenants within the space.
And if I understood you correctly, you'll have one truck, always have a trailer either at the west dock or the east dock.
Correct.
Right.
And then a truck will come to service it every 2 to 3 days, where they will pick up the full trailer, drop an empty one, leave, and then if the store is going through product, which, you know, means people are shopping there, then we would probably bring the box truck in from the Westgate ADC location right down the road by the Walmart there. They would back up to a truck, unload it, and leave that dock free again.
When you accept goods and they aren't any good, or they don't meet your standard of quality, how are they disposed? Is that what the trash compactor's for? Or is the trash compactor basically for cardboard?
Trash compactor is typically for cardboard and or broken items. So depending on how the donation comes in, if there's broken glass, I don't want hand lacerations on my team members' hands, that will go into the compactor. Whereas if it's, you know, it's a shirt that has a hole or a stain on it that doesn't meet our criteria, it then will get on the back of a box truck, and then it goes to 1555 Jefferson Road, which is our clearance center, and then will either get baled and or it will then be sold. You know, if somebody is interested in trying to repurpose it for 50 cents by the pound, it's called a pound store.
But it's not a dumpster type
Correct.
disposal.
We have no dumpsters. That's the 26 million tons we divert a year from landfills. It's just how we take care of all the goods.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? This time I'll open the public hearing. Any comments relative to this application? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Yes.
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 I also vote yes. For the two parking spots that are right in front of your store, would it be possible to designate those and somebody would go out to those cars to pick up the items? I mean, even with pickups from stores, if you order something online, they designate parking spots, you dial a digit number, and they come out and they either bring your product to you or they pick up something that you're dropping off.
We've tried it. Everybody's so accustomed to kind of the Goodwill way of pulling up to the door, can get in and out in 60 seconds, and then that's where, whether it's a customer dropping off or my team members, now we're asking them to roll across the parking lot with the rolling equipment in the snow conditions. You know, they could slip and fall. It doesn't quite work for us. We've tried it, which is why being able to pull up to a door, service everybody in under 75 seconds on average across all of our, even our busiest locations. You know, this is kind of our model that works best.
Did you say you were covering that door with an awning from the building to the edge of the sidewalk?
It's under the facade.
Oh, you're just going to be under you're not putting an awning?
No, we're not putting any additional. When the door was on the right side, we were putting an awning to protect.
Okay.
As in the new location now on the left side, we're underneath the facade.
Okay.
That's the current contractor's entrance,
Yeah.
right? That's where we're coming in and out. That's the door you're talking about?
Yeah, correct. We're going to leave that door in place. We're actually going to just modify the storefront.
Mm-hmm.
There's not quite enough room between into the storefront and it's coming in the corner of my last street.
Yeah.
To get our full 6-foot door in. So working with FSI, our contractor, we're actually just going to modify the the first 6 feet of the storefront.
Right.
In front of the door of the storefront, we'll just leave that. What was emergency exit door, form this abandoned, like, so it's using the doors for exit.
Start from the west side and
Right.
carve out your 6-foot opening. I got it,
So
yep.
we're replacing 2 panes of glass, we're going to be long.
Okay.
Any other questions on that door or relative to that location? Any other discussion? Okay. As far as seeker, I'll make a motion to declare the board lead agency, and based on evidence and information presented at this meeting, determine the application be an unlisted action with no significant environmental impact. Do I have a second?
Yes.
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 I also vote yes. Is there a waiver on final with this, Paul?
It's just a revised site plan.
Okay, so there is no final? Okay, thank you. So as far as conditions, I have approval is subject to final approval of the town engineer and the Commissioner of Public Works. The town engineer and the Commissioner of Public Works must be given copies of any correspondence with approving agencies. Applicant to comply with all pertinent Monroe County Development Review Committee comments. Applicant to comply with all required life safety conditions and permits from the town fire marshal. Any signage change shall comply with town code, including obtaining sign permits. One thing I was going to ask you is about landscaping. What are you doing for landscaping? I know the Conservation Board recommended large planters with plants, I think I saw. Or if not, are you contributing 1% of the total project cost to the town for a tree planting fund?
I think we would be happy to do so. Typically, we worry, for the lease, we typically worry about kind of within the 4 walls of our space.
Okay.
Some landlords are very particular about what they'd like to see and how the plaza looks. Once
Okay.
we get outside the 4 walls, I generally leave it up to them.
All right. So you have to provide a landscaping equivalent of 1% of the total project cost. In lieu of landscaping, the applicant can make a donation to the town's tree planting fund in the amount equal to 1% of the total project cost. If you talk to the landlord and you change your mind on that, you'll just have to equal either a donation and/or landscaping to 1% of the total cost. You'll work with the building department on that. Building permits should not be issued prior to the applicant complying with all conditions. Application is subject to all required permits, inspections, code compliance regulations. No outside storage is allowed. Any other conditions for this application? Okay, based on those conditions, the application of Goodwill of the Finger Lakes, 422 South Clinton Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14620, applicant, Chili MZL LLC, 535 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, 10017 owner, for a revised site plan approval for proposed renovations and site improvements for the retail thrift store, 23,000 square feet, property located at 3170 Chili Avenue in the GB district.
Yes.
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 I vote no. This is approved. Welcome. The approval of, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, she did send it to meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve last month's meeting minutes.
Second?
Yes.
Yes.
You abstain, I wasn't here.
Yes.
The minutes are approved. Any other business? Meeting is adjourned.